sports fans, PBC Sports Chaos. And guess what? Hockey time. We're going to do a hockey preview show. I know the season's already started. We had a lot of football talk to get out of the way, but we're talking all hockey tonight. And PB, you got a little beer down there honoring the Stanley Cup champions, right?
Yeah, I got a same thing as last week. The Highlight IPA from Cigar City Brewing. It's out of Tampa, 7.5%. It's really, really good beer. Really good. But in honor of not only the defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, but also Tampa Bay Bucks being in the Super Bowl.
Nice! Whoa! All right, we're going to do a little 2-minute drill, literally 2 minutes, and we're going to get right into some NHL talk. We'll tell you who we think will be in the Stanley Cup Finals during our show, and PP will also tell you who we think is the MVP candidates and the Rookie of the Year candidates. All right, let's get into it. 2-minute drill. Last week we mentioned it, the big UFC fight, notorious Conor McGregor. He got his legs kicked out, literally 14 leg kicks, beat his ass down. No, he lost. You know what? I think him and Dustin Poirier are going to face off for a trilogy in May. We'll see. Hey, MLB Hall of Fame elections the other night. Nobody got nominated or elected to the Hall of Fame. First time since 2013. Only the 7th time all time that we've never picked a Hall of Fame candidate. Kurt Schilling, by the way, his second to last year on the ballot, he came up short. He's begging the Hall of Fame committee to take him off the ballot. I say, bye-bye, Schill. We're done with your loud mouth.
Yep.
All right. Hey, by the way, Sox and Yankees, they made a little history this week. Only the second time in 35 years they had a trade between teams. Adam Ottaviano, I think I pronounced that right, got traded to the Sox. I thought the Sox should have picked him up 2 years ago. The Yankees gave him to the Sox this year. PB, here's my thoughts behind that. The Yankees need the Sox to be competitive. If the Sox are in the basement, the Yankees can't sell tickets. Maybe they won't sell anything this year because of COVID, and they can't get on TV, national games. They need the Sox to be on national games. They want to make them competitive. That's my theory. It's the only way that we did that, right?
All right. I like it.
All right. Hey, NFL news. Deshaun Watson officially says, I want out. We're going to have a lot more talk about that going forward. It's between, I think, the Jets and the Dolphins. We'll talk about that more to come. We'll see. I don't know. Hey, last week we had the conference finals. You picked both games. I want to pick Tampa Bay, but I thought it would be good luck if I didn't. Good for you for picking both of them, sticking to your guns. What do you think? You like those both wins?
Yeah, I mean, now we're sitting on, 10-2 in the playoffs. You're 9-3, so we both have great playoff records picking these teams. Yeah, I picked Tampa. I said not just with my heart, but I also picked them with my head. And I think this is going to be a great Super Bowl. I can't wait for us to preview that next week, but should be a good one.
I will add one thing. I think the NFL screwed Green Bay. And here's what I think about that, PB. Green Bay in January is a horrible place to play football. Why give them the 2 o'clock game, 2 o'clock in their time zone, when there was still sunshine out? If you're going to give them the home field advantage, play that at night when it's freezing out. And the other thing is, Green Bay, are you idiots? Why play on the sun? Why are you playing on the shade sideline? You put Tampa Bay on the sunshine sideline. You gave them an advantage right away. It was 10 degrees warmer, I heard, in the sun. And by the way, Brady played well in the first half while the sun was still out. In the second half, he threw 3 picks. Imagine if that was the game right from the start. I don't know. Home field advantage was wiped out. I know it was still 26 degrees, but when it felt like 36, Tampa Bay felt at home, I think. So
yeah, but bottom line is, before the season started, both you and I picked Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. So good job there, both of us.
Hey, and before we get to NHL, I just saw this now. In Vegas, a guy picked a he put down $2.3 million on Tampa Bay, largest bet ever in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Unbelievable. All right, let's get into this thing. We got a little NHL talk tonight. PB, our resident hockey pro. He's played a number of years of hockey. He's going to take us through this. PB, I got a quick announcement, though, before we get into this. The Bruins announced officially they're going to retire Willie O'Ree, the first black hockey player in NHL history. They're going to retire his number 22, on February 18th. A good thing?
Yeah, real good thing.
I think so too. All right. Give us the big changes this year, because the NHL looks a little different. First of all, it's only, 56 games, right?
Right. So the regular season will be 56 games. They set up the divisions. There's 4 divisions. No conference. There's no conferences. So basically what that means is the 2 teams playing in the Stanley Cup this year could be from any one of those 4 divisions. They have to be from separate divisions, but you could have 2 teams that normally can't play in a Stanley Cup playing in a Stanley Cup. For instance, the Tampa Bay could end up playing Boston in the Stanley Cup. It's conceivable that could happen. That can't happen in the regular way the season works. So
okay,
conferences, only divisions. There's 4 divisions. One of those divisions is 100% Canadian. It's the 7-team division, so it's 7 because there's 31 teams in the NHL. So that's kind of interesting, right? To have a team division that way. But the other thing is, all the games, all 56 games, are all in your division. You don't play any teams in the regular season outside your division. So for the Bruins, for example, they're in an 8-team division. There's 7 other teams in there. They play all 8 times. 8 times 7 is 56, and there you got it. So that's how the regular season is going to run. Playoffs, they will have still a 16-team playoff. You're going to have the top 4 seeds in each one of these divisions will make the playoffs. 1 will play 4. 2 will play 3 in a bracket format.
Okay.
Those 2 winners play to come out of that division. So you'll have 1 division winner. One division finalist in the final 4 for the Stanley Cup.
So this will look a little like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, right. In a way, because you'll have someone coming out of each geographical bracket exactly to meet for the final 4. Here's what's interesting. Once that final 4 is established, the team with the best record in the regular season, or most points in the regular season, becomes the 1 seed, and the team with the worst of those records becomes the 4 seed.
Oh, that is a little different. You're right. So we don't have a determined semifinals yet. Okay.
Exactly. So let's just say Colorado and Vegas, who are 2 of the top teams in the NHL, come out. Only one of them can come out of that division. So let's just say it's Colorado. Well, they could finish second in that division, but as a second place team behind Vegas, could still have more points than the other 3 teams that come out, and then even as 1 seeds and regain that top seed in the final 4.
Oh wow! So the final 4 seeds is based on how you finish the regular season, then essentially.
Yes, exactly. After you come out of your division, exactly.
All right.
Should be interesting. Should be a great year. So we ready to go into our – you want me to do the Rookie of the Year and so forth?
Hey, first of all, I want to ask you about this. So this is the first time ever in history that the 4 divisions – they've been renamed, by the way. They used to be called they had
names like the Smythe Division and the Norris Division, but that went away actually several years ago. And then they named it more geographically.
But now they have corporate sponsors this year, right? So the NHL went out and got corporate sponsors. So it's called like the Minolta division, right? Or the Google division or whatever it might be.
Right. Yep.
And it's funny. People laugh. NHL was the first league ever to put sponsors on the boards, right? In the rink. And people laughed at them as being rinky dink, so to speak. And then MLB and everybody started doing that. And now it's the way it is. I think this is going to be the way it is in regular sports going forward. We'll see.
Very well could be, yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Before we get into our picks in the divisions, who do you think will be the MVP this year?
MVP is, so that's the Hart Trophy, and it goes to obviously the best player overall that contributes most to their team. I really like, and I think he might be the odds-on favorite to win this thing, Nathan McKinnon, the Colorado Avalanche.
Avalanche, yeah. Okay. I like McDavid from
Conor McDavid, yeah. One of the best all-around players for sure in the NHL. I like him too, but I'm going to go with Nathan McKinnon this year.
All right. What do you think? Rookie of the Year. You got a favorite there?
Yeah, I like Kirill Kaprizov. He's playing for the Minnesota Wild, Russian kid. He is already leading his team in points. He has 5 goals and 2 assists. That's the Calder Trophy. I think should run away with that, actually. I think he also is the odds-on favorite right now in Vegas to win the Rookie of the Year.
All right. You got a coach that's going to be hot this year?
Well, it's hard not to play the obvious choice here. I really like Tampa Bay. He didn't get it last year.
Right.
The Bruins and Cassidy got it, right? But Guy Boucher in Tampa Bay, I think that you're going to see that team right back in it this year, if not repeating for that Stanley Cup championship. I do like Peter Laviolette with the Philadelphia Flyers. I think he has a shot to be in that equation. I also like Mark Crawford in Dallas. I think he might people and be in those final runnings. But to me, those three coaches should all be right there. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give it to Guy Boucher.
All right. Let me ask a question real quick. I know I didn't say this earlier. Is there one coach that's on the hot seat if he doesn't get in the playoffs this year?
Oh, easily. Columbus. Tortola, whatever his name is. Yeah. He's on the hot seat for sure. He's on the hot seat maybe even before the season ends.
Okay. Who do you think's the best division right now? When you look at the teams in the division, who's the best division?
Yeah, I gotta go with the West, with Colorado and Vegas, who to me could be the top two teams in the entire NHL. You also got St. Louis in there, and you also got Minnesota Wild, which I think might do some surprise a few people this year.
Nice. All right. I happen to like the North with the Canadians and the East. Is that what it is with the Bruins and Washington and all that?
Okay. Yep, that's a good one too, because you got Philly, you got Pittsburgh, and then you have teams like the Islanders who could, maybe surprise a few people. New Jersey's, they could be in the mix there too. So I agree with you there. I think the East probably the second best.
Plus, you get the most original six amongst those two divisions, right?
Yeah, I think all of them.
Yeah,
all of them are in the East, I think.
Yeah. All right. What do you think? Give me your division picks.
All right. So for the East, I have Philadelphia as your number one coming out of there. They had a great second half last year. They have essentially their same roster returning. They're going to get hot at the right time, and I have Philly as the number one team in the East.
All right.
Second, I have Washington. They struggled last year, and the reason why they got ousted in the playoffs, their defense. Their defense just wasn't strong enough. They did get Zdeno Chara from the Bruins. That's going to help them out there on the defensive side of the ball, defensive side of the puck, I should say. We're talking football too much here, right? Big question, Ilya Samsonov, the goalie. He's going to have full-time duties or, better part of the goaltending duties this year. That could be a question mark. So that's why I think that keeps him out of that one spot and has him down on the second spot.
Okay.
Number 3, I have the Boston Bruins. They did lose Chara. They did lose Krug. That hurts them on defense. That puts a lot of pressure on Charlie McAvoy to really step up and carry that team, especially as a puck-moving defenseman. And then the other big question mark there is Pasta. We know he's out for a good part of the beginning of the year here, and that could hurt them as well. They will hang in there, though. I don't think they can repeat and get the best record in the NHL like they did last year, but I think they can hang in there enough to make the playoffs. I'm putting them in as a 3 seed right now.
All right, let's move up to the North. Who do you like there?
Well, I got the 4 seed still.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so the 4 seed in the East is Pittsburgh. So the Penguins, they're obviously, they got the big names with Crosby and Malkin, right? But they're just not that deep. So I know teams like the Islanders and Devils could creep up into that 4 spot. But for now, I'm going to say Pittsburgh takes that 4 spot.
I like the Islanders.
Okay. So what's your 4 then?
I like the first 3 you had, and I got the Islanders.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. You want me to go North?
Let's go North.
All right. Number 1 coming out of there, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews, one of the top 5 players in the NHL, easily good offense team all around there. So I got them as the number 1. Number 2. The Montreal Canadiens. They've added a lot of parts in the offseason. They have some good young talent there. I think it's going to come down to Carey Price and his goaltending. If he can stand up and does what he does in net, then Montreal could certainly be that number 2 seed there.
Okay.
Number 3, I have the Winnipeg Jets. Halibike, I think that's how you say the goalie's name. He was the Vezina Trophy winner last year. I think he can play consistently enough this year to potentially contend for that again. So, and you look at their top two lines, they're stacked on offense. Defense, a little bit different question, but they're stacked enough, I think, to be in the playoffs this year for sure. I have them as the number 3. And then number 4, I have the Edmonton Oilers. Conor McDavid, just like you said, he's the potential league MVP. They do lack some depth on defense. I don't see him going far in the playoffs, but I can see him getting the 4 seed.
Nice. I'm with. I flipped Montreal and Edmonton, but other than that, I got the same 4 teams, but I just flipped Montreal and Edmonton.
Oh, okay. All right. So you had Philly as the winner in the East too, huh?
No. Let me take that back. I had the Bruins and Philly coming in 3rd, so I flipped Bruins and Philly.
Oh, okay. And
you know what? This past weekend proved me right. The Bruins crushed Philly the last 2 days, right?
I know.
All right, let's go out. Where are we going? West? Is that the next division?
Yeah, we can go west, or we can go down to the Central Division if you want.
Oh, do Central. Do Central where Tampa Bay is.
Yeah, Central. So Central, I have Dallas as the number 1 there. They're off to a great start. I think they're the only team in the NHL right now without a loss or an overtime loss. Big question there, though. Of course, Sagan is out for a number of months here before they get going. So, but he'll come back when they need him, and that certainly will help him be the number 1 seed. Number 2, I have Tampa Bay. Very easily, they could contend for the number 1 seed as well. They pretty much have their whole entire roster back. They are minus Kucherov, who's probably, again, one of the top 5 players in the NHL. But you know what? They have enough depth. That is probably one of the deepest teams in the league. We talked about Guy Boucher earlier, coaching them up. So I think with all of that and the depth that they have, they're the number 2 seed.
Nice. All right. I get that flipped, but I like what you're saying. Go ahead. What do you got for 3?
I have Carolina Hurricanes. I think Andre Svechnikov, who is potentially a Rocket Richard candidate to be the top goal scorer in the NHL this year. I think that might surprise a few people, but I could see the Hurricanes getting a 3 seed in that division.
Okay, and who you get 4?
And 4, I have. Oh, this car fell down, huh? Oh yeah, I got to go with the hometown here. I got to go with the hometown Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers in the 5 spot. Really like what they're doing. I lost my notes. So I'm gonna have to find those.
Wow! All right.
But yeah, I think that you look at Florida, you look at their coach. They have Joel Quenneville, one of the probably one of the more underrated coaches in the NHL, and I think they can do some good things there in Florida. So I get them as the 4.
Okay. I'm flipping 1 and 2, but I'm with you with the other teams. All right, let's go out west. What do you got there? This is where the champion's going to come out of.
Yeah, I think so too. Because Colorado Avalanche and Vegas Knights to me are the top 2 teams, maybe in the entire NHL, and they're playing in the same division.
Right.
The aforementioned Nathan McKinnon is your potential league MVP. Could be the best team in the league, top to bottom. And Vegas right behind them. They did acquire Pietrangelo from St. Louis. So it was a big loss for St. Louis, a big game for Vegas. I think they're the second best team top to bottom. And when you look at that goaltending duo of Marc-Andre Fleury and Lehner, they could be the top 2, the best goaltending duo in the NHL.
Right.
St. Louis, I do have it 3rd. Even though they lost Pietrangelo, they did pick up Krug on defense.
Yeah.
Last year they did what they did without Tarasenko, one of their best players. They will be getting Tarasenko back this year, although it won't be until after a few months into the season. But all of that still, I think they have enough there in the tank to get a 3 seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who do you get 4?
Number 4, I have the Minnesota Wild. Their strength is obviously their defense. Offensively, they struggled last year. But I really like this potential Calder Trophy Rookie of the Year winner in Kaprizov, and he could be the help out on offense. Big question there in Minnesota, though, is their goaltending behind that great defense. If he can't help them out, then that might hurt them a little bit. But I still have them coming in at the number 4.
So you got Vegas 1 or 2?
I got Colorado 1, Vegas 2,
Right.
it's 3, Minnesota.
And by the way, speaking of Vegas, Vegas has Vegas and Colorado tied. Go for the Stanley Cup odds right now.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't.
Yeah. And I'm with you.
Right.
And by the way, St. Louis, you and I are still in disbelief. The Bruins lost that Cup final when they were up, right? And
Yeah.
it goes to show you the hangover lingers longer for the losing team, because St. Louis has kept on strong ever since then. Bruins faded a little bit last year when they went out a little earlier in the bubble. I don't know if they can ever recoup it. They're old. We'll see. All right, what do you got in the Final Four then?
Yeah, so in the East, I have Philly beating Pittsburgh, Washington, unfortunately, beating Boston, knocking them out in the first round. And then I have Philly beating Washington. So I got Philly coming out of the East. I do have Dallas beating Florida and Tampa Bay beating Carolina. But then even though I had Dallas as the 1 seed, I still have Tampa Bay beating Dallas and coming out there. So I got Philly and Tampa coming out as 2. And remember, any of these teams don't have to play each other. They could be playing, after they come out, they could face anybody. So then I have Colorado beating Minnesota, Vegas beating St. Louis, which gives you Colorado in Vegas. And I do have Colorado. It's going to be a hell of a series, right? So early on, you're in the final 8. You can have the 2 best teams in the NHL playing each other. But I do have the Avalanche winning that series. And then I have Toronto beating Edmonton and Montreal beating Winnipeg. But my surprise pick there is Winnipeg beating Toronto and coming out of that North. So my Final 4, Philadelphia Flyers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Colorado Avalanche, and the Winnipeg Jets.
Wow. All right, you're our resident hockey expert. I get the Bruins. I'm going to give them one last chance. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm going to give them one last chance. Tampa, I think, stays in there to the finals. Vegas and Toronto. That's my Final 4.
Okay. Well, you don't even Vegas and Toronto. You don't even have the Avalanche coming up there.
No, I think Vegas takes them at the end of the day.
All right. So my final, and I'm not going to predict the winner yet, but my final for the Stanley Cup this year is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning with a chance to repeat, and the aforementioned Colorado Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche.
For those who don't know, Quebec, they used to be Quebec, right?
Right. The Quebec Nordiques franchise moved to Colorado.
Yeah.
So I got Colorado and Tampa playing in the finals.
All right. Nice. I like it. I didn't go as far as the finals because I had no idea how they got matched up. I just gave you my Final 4. So I like that, though. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. But it could happen that Colorado and Tampa play in the Final 4, right? Because everything gets reseeded at that point.
Yeah, you told us.
So,
Right.
So you don't know. You don't even know if that could even happen potentially. But
although it won't be Colorado, it'll be Vegas. But anyways, I digress. All right, good rundown, PB. I like it. All right, fans, next week we got our football show. We're going to give you our Super Bowl picks. Not only that, we're going to talk about the hot quarterback controversies going on right now in the NFL. Who would have thought you could have 9 all-star quarterbacks changing teams next year? We'll talk about that next week. PB, you good?
Yeah.
Good, all right, man. Talk to you next week.
All right.